Pero el Mateo se tiene que hacer la pregunta de dónde viene lo que usa. ¿De dónde viene este producto? ¿Quién lo hizo? Se hizo la caña en Vietnam y se destiló en Centroamérica y el vidrio vino de Taiwán y el acero y lo tengo acá en mi bar en Londres. La pregunta es, ¿puede estar mejor?
I grew up thinking that I live in an amazing world, but in an amazing country, that it was not showcased. And my sort of mission was to communicate a little bit of what's going on in this part of the world. And I do that through liquids or transforming solids into something different. I'm Tato Giovannoni, I'm from Argentina. I have a bar in Buenos Aires. I've been a bartender for all my life.
Me llamo Juan Ignacio Gerardi, soy de Argentina. Mi trabajo es conectar y vincular a las personas con la tierra. Y soy amigo de Tato.
We met randomly in the north of Argentina, and Juani was over there linking people with people and terroir and soil. That's what he does in a very amazing way. And we met, we started talking. Half an hour later, he was introducing me to a producer of apples and pears. And 3 days after that, we were receiving those apples and pears in Florería Atlántico en Buenos Aires.
Pero el Mateo se tiene que hacer la pregunta, realmente no puedo hacer una búsqueda de sabor que tenga que ver con respetar a la producción local o con la temporada. ¿Tiene sentido hacer tantos kilómetros? ¿Puedo hacerlo distinto?
I can have a great Manhattan anywhere in the world, but if I can go somewhere and have a drink that's made with these local ingredients, I'm going to learn about the ingredients. I'm going to learn about the people that utilize the ingredients. My name is Chalky Tom. I'm an Indigenous American advocate and the co-founder of Dumersive. The thing about the bar industry is people are always looking for the next best thing. And a bar should be a place to explore. I mean, if you're a bartender, you're already probably pretty nerdy and want to learn more. You don't always have to go on a tour of the world to find interesting things. And as a bartender, all of us change the way that our community decides to interact with cocktails, whether it's being from a small town and changing to a certain vermouth, or finding like a local grower that makes apples and doing something cool with it, or doing it on like a 50 Vest bar stage where you're like, well, we're only going to work with local growers and we're only going to do things from this region right now. As much as everyone wants to travel and be a fancy bartender that goes into the jungle and finds this new thing, there's still so many things in our own backyards that are there to be utilized.
We always start a bar with a mission to learn more about the stuff that we do. And for Asia today, we want to showcase a local ingredients, and in this case, especially wild honey. My name is Nix Anuman. I'm the operator of Asia Today Bar. We're in Chinatown of Bangkok, Thailand. So if you work with honey, everything is different. Basically, if you have different species of bee, they would go for different plants and flowers. And you're like, but you guys are in the same place. And they'll just come out different. Imagine putting two nationality of people in the same kitchen. They're just gonna cook differently. So basically we're tasting like two honeys right now. So this, coming from this like subspecies of stingless. In Thai we call it kongan. And this one, we call it the subspecies called itama, which is from that one. You can tell that like the color is super different. I'm sure like the flavor would be so much different as well. Oh wow. You have like light, slight, like clean, citrus bitter, those kind of vibes. People like super underestimate the flavor of like stingless. So we're trying like another itama, also same species with that one, but basically from a different area. So this one is from the north, but I think this one is from the south. I would say, I wouldn't say a fruit, because I would say a style. I would say it's a clean, sharp profile. Like very light at the beginning, it comes gradually lightens. It's a really clean end. The silver. So you see, the color is super dark. From what I've seen, the way they work, it likes a very fragrant herbs like, what do you call it? For example, like basil, like those kind of style. I taste a lot of like soy, a lot of celery. Like
it's very umami.
Umami, yeah. So, like, if you look at the history of Thailand, we are actually not a unified country, like from the beginning. So we're basically capturing different kingdoms and turn it into Thailand. So we have different, really distinctive like culture, and each culture has their own biodiversity like to offer. I think the biodiversity should channel through you, like, because you're not using yourself as the center, you're using yourself as a passageway for people to understand more about different stuff at different place and time. It runs through you and it got a little bit of your flavor into it, and that's our style.
¿Hay sabor sin diversidad?
No, no sé. Para mí no.
No lo sé.
I can just walk around my hometown in Cariló with things that were not native from that area, and I can find that biodiversity that was not originally from that area. You know, this exchange of seeds and traveling and human movement around the globe exists since we exist. Who knows now where tomatoes are from? If you ask a random person, they will say they're from Italy, and they're not. And seeds are moving not only by humans, but by birds, by bees, by everything.
Biodiversity is integral to the future of flavor because biodiversity is what sustains everything that's grown in the world. We can take corn for an example. That started as like a simple grass, and because of biodiversity is now in like hundreds of varietals depending on where you are in the Americas. Here are some common ingredients that are part of the food landscape that you probably eat every single day that are indigenous to the Americas. So we're going to start with some berries, some blackberries, blueberries. I also have some pine nuts, some sunflower seeds, some pumpkin seeds. I also have everybody's favorite, chocolate. Pineapples, which everybody associates with Hawaii, but are actually from South America and were traded all up and down the Americas. And chili peppers. So reviewing a lot of these ingredients, you use them every single day in your bars all around the world. And it's important to know where they come from because there's a rich history there. There's the people that cultivated them, and they're still part of our foodways for the indigenous communities today in the Americas.
I believe that humans always work in a hyper-local way. In the past, more than now, because the traveling was not that easy. People used to preserve things that they were not in season anymore, and they eat it through all year round, no? Not long ago, I realized after we finished a menu in Floreria that there was no fresh products in the menu. So what should I say? I didn't do a seasonal menu, or it was a seasonal menu. They were all dry products, mostly from flowers and roots, and from the north and from Patagonia. I say, wow, we're not using any lemons, no limes, no finding those citrics or the acidity in different botanicals. So I like to think that we all need to think in a very open way and not to put ourselves in, this is in season, I need to use this. I mean, if it's in season, use it in season, yes. Those products also transform themselves and they can be used in another way. So I'm on favor of seasonality also, but I think it's bigger than that.
No se descubren las temporadas, sino que creo que se descubre como la escucha.
I think honey industry in Thailand, like, it has always been about imported bees. And we call that species called Apis mellifera. So that's the species that most of the honey producers in Thailand would work with. Actually, but in this country, we have so many more species that you can work with. We have 27 subspecies, and each of them provides different style of honey itself. But if you stick to the supermarket honey, you'll always get that one type of honey that, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but there's so much more that could taste even better, and it helps the community as well. Like if you work with them like straight up. We have a stingless bee, which is one of the species of the bees in Thailand. In Thai, we call this subspecies khon ngan, which is a silver hair, or like you can call it silverback. Okay, so this size of a hive would need around like a year or two to like fill up the whole space. You see, like a pocket like this would have like honey inside. Maybe. This is what we call ititama, and it will just like be triple the size. Normally we don't keep the hive here. I would never thought of bringing a hive to a bar. But it's just the sake of like the educational purpose. อยู่ปะ Okay, so when you work with local producers, you and your growers or your producers, you basically grow together. It's like flowers and bees. You grow together. You can't be separated. And I think that's when you take out the middleman, you can actually work from people to people. It's more direct, it's more authentic, it's more real. And I think working with that connection will gives you much more meaning to what you do.